It's Friday night in Phoenix, Arizona. I am Max, and we've got
Lance.
And Jay.
And Jay.
Hello.
You guys got me too.
Yep, I did. I already yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We are the Couch Geeks. The Absolute Crunchers. No, we're excited to be here tonight. Matt, unfortunately, is not able to be with us. I don't want to share his personal information, but he's just not feeling well. So he can't be here tonight.
He's not dead. He's not dead.
He is not dead. We aren't going to play that joke again.
He's going through menopause.
It's a very sensitive time. You shouldn't joke about that.
Max was not sure if that was okay to laugh at. He's like,
Checking the live chat for girls' names.
It could be that, or it could be that you're just not that funny.
Oh,
I'm hysterical.
Oh man, how you guys doing?
I'm good, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
Got a full belly. Just had some Freddy's.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, what'd you have at Freddy's?
The triple bacon cheeseburger wrapped in lettuce.
Triple? I didn't know they had triples.
With the lettuce wraps, like
it.
if you don't get enough meat, like the thing it doesn't hold its form well. So I always get an extra patty when I get.
And at Freddy's, that's always a good idea because their patties are good, but they're really thin.
Yeah.
That's why I don't typically go there.
Just got a burger sandwich between two patties.
All right, you know what?
Huh?
I want to know your guys' thoughts. What is the best burger joint?
Oh,
let's
like
say
fast food or
yeah. Let's go with like. Oh, dude, because if you name like mom and pop places, it'll take all day. Yeah, like chains.
Yes.
Right.
Culver's.
Yeah.
Culver's. Okay.
Yeah.
How about you, Jay?
I do like Culver's, but I'm kind of cliche. I like In-N-Out and Wendy's. And then my least favorite is probably Burger King. I think they're gross lately.
Tastes like plastic.
Dude. So yeah, Stumbling is saying Five Guys. That's mine too. But it depends on the day. Because Five Guys and In-N-Out are both stellar. Freddy's is probably my second under that. I don't understand the interest in Culver's because to me it tastes fine, but it's way overpriced. Like I'm not. I go to Culver's and it's a fast food and I pay $40.
It's the only place. It's the only fast food joint that offers a gluten-free bun. And as you know, I'm allergic to wheat, so that's why it's my favorite. Because at Wendy's, I basically got to eat it with a fork out of a bowl.
Yeah, they don't let us wrap.
Yeah, I haven't been to Wendy's in probably 12 years.
What?
But Five Guys looks like they kicked it around their store before they handed it to you. So I don't like that either.
You're wrong.
like it fell off the delivery truck and they found it in the parking lot.
Yeah, like they're like, hey man, I found this under the couch. Go ahead and eat it.
Let's make a quick $10.95. You know what? Whataburger's good too. A good you hold the mustard because sometimes they slather it on there. A good double Whataburger with cheese. Oh man,
I haven't had Whataburger in probably 20 years.
Dude, I like Whataburger. It's good. Yeah.
Well, there was never one close to my house.
That's true. There wasn't one close to me.
Yeah, they've only recently started building more because they almost went bankrupt. I want to say like a decade ago or something like that. So they closed a bunch of locations. So the closest one to my house was like 30 miles away.
Well, there's one right now by our house.
But
like
now
minutes.
I can't eat it.
I got to eat it with a fork. Asking, what about Red Robin? I mean, that's not really that's not a fast food one, but I like Red Robin.
Yeah. Those garlic fries are awesome at Red Robin.
Mm-hmm. I get their sweet potato fries. They're really good.
Oh yeah, those are tasty as shit too.
Yeah.
Dude,
okay, so I'm gonna throw one out here. This one is more of a fast food, and it's not a chain so much. But I know we weren't gonna plug locals, but I'm going to Matty G's. You guys ever been to Matty G's?
Mm-mm.
So it's like the Freddy style burgers where they they're really thin. Oh my gosh, though it's overpriced. Like they charge you $12, $13, $14 for a burger, and you don't get fries, you don't get a drink.
What?
Yeah, so it's like sit down restaurant prices for these burgers, but they're good. They're really, really good.
So where is it?
Honestly, I can't even remember. My brother drove and I wasn't paying attention. But it's like there's one in Gilbert, there's I think one in Mesa, there's one in Flagstaff. If you just Google Maddie with a Y and then the letter G, like that's what they are. And they're really good.
And
they might one of these days go ahead. Sorry. I didn't mean
no, it's okay. I was just gonna say, and they specialize in hamburgers, or do they have like other stuff? Oh,
they have other stuff, but hamburgers is their main thing. I think they have chicken sandwiches, which my brother got once, and he wasn't into that. And I think they do hot dogs.
It's like that's like a burger light. I don't do burger lights.
Ooh, Lenny's. Kyle says Lenny's is good.
I don't even know if I've ever had Lenny's.
Lenny's is that's a real mom and pop shop over on is it Stapley in the 60. I'm pretty sure. It's like right by where the laser tag used to be. They're really good. I like them a lot.
Oh, on the closer to Southern.
Yeah,
like by the AMC. That's like right by the
Stratum's
AMC.
Still there, dude. The laser tag's still there.
Oh, is Stratum still there? Is it on, I think it's on Stapley. Maybe it's on Country Club or something.
That's
Stratum was like. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, no, I keep interrupting you, dude. Go ahead.
Stratum was one of the coolest places because they would open up the attic and we would have punk rock shows up there. So like my bands play there a couple times at Stratum. Yeah. So it's a laser tag arena. And remember Laser Quest on Alma School and or like Dobson and Baseline? Do you remember that place?
No.
But Stratum was like the same thing, but then they had a whole attic where you could walk up and you'd watch bands. So we played there. These guys, Clever Eddie, played there.
Oh, Clever Eddie. I remember them. They were great.
Yeah. Stratum was awesome, dude. That was like where we went every weekend when we were like 14, 15 years old.
Did the fire marshal know you guys were up there?
Probably not.
Like, was Clever Eddie was their album called Four Banger, or was it one of their songs that was called
No, that's a band. Four Banger's a band.
I thought they had a song. I thought Clever Eddie had a song called
Four
Banger is a band. That's another local band. I'm sorry. But I really like Clever Eddie as well.
Four Banger just came out with a new album a couple years ago.
I actually opened for Clever Eddie once. That was kind of cool.
Acoustic?
Really?
Did you do your
No, it was my band, Mr.
Acoustic Jams, like last week?
My band, Mr. Whipple, back in like high school days.
Mr. Whipple. That's such a great name, dude.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a fun band.
If I get you guys to come up to Sholo with me one of these days, we'll have to go to this place called The House because they have a peanut butter. Oh, dude, it's so good. They have a peanut butter burger with bacon, like thick bacon, and a jalapeno jelly. That is so amazing, dude. And then my wife gets this one where it's a burger and they put it in between two glazed donuts.
Sorry, you said that's like, where did you say that is? Not Flag, right?
Sholo.
No, Sholo.
Sholo. You know what? I'm gonna have to remember that because I'm going to Sholo in like 2 or 3 weekends.
Oh, dude, it's amazing. But you have to get the bacon burger, dude. It's so good. The only problem with them is that they're like they don't do French fries. It's like chips, like crisps.
Are they like thick cut chips or like are they homemade chips?
No, like super thick. Like no, they're homemade, like thick cut.
That's cool.
Potato crisps. But I don't really dig those.
I'm not into that.
Gluten for you. Is that it?
No, potatoes don't have gluten.
Oh, they don't? Oh, my bad.
No.
Potatoes are.
I'm not into the whole diet thing.
When
it's not a diet. I'm allergic. Like I don't have a choice.
I know. I'm just saying my dietary, knowledge isn't what it should be.
Yeah.
A person my age should.
I'm allergic to wheat, barley, and rye. I can't have any of those things, or else I get violently sick. I'd rather have COVID than what happens to me after I have wheat.
I'm gonna slip you something, and it'll be like that episode of Freaks and Geeks when
he's gonna drug me, guys. He's gonna put ketamine in my Mountain Dew.
We'll have to go to the hospital and have a heartfelt moment because I think you're dead, and I'll apologize.
It's like, man, it was just a joke. Please wake up. Dude, that's a great song. That Sublime Date Rape. You like that song? Sublime Date Rape.
I know it's a horrible name for a song, but it is a good song.
But it's about date rape.
I know.
Yeah, but it's like the guy gets revenge on.
No, right? a girl gets drugged.
Oh, yeah.
This guy takes advantage of her, and the girl gets revenge. Like it's a great song. It's dun 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 dun. It's a great song.
It is a great song.
Yeah. So it has like bass line, it has like bass walks.
Doesn't he end up in jail and stuff? Isn't that part of the song?
And then it says
And then he gets date raped in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah,
dude, it's a great song. Bradley Knoll was just one of a kind. Kyle. Matt died in the ER, he says.
Sublime sucks, he says. Dude, I was going to send you the link. I don't want you on the show anymore.
I'm not a big fan either. I don't mind them, but I'm not a big fan.
I love Sublime, man.
They were one of my favorites back in the day.
Top 10 reefer fiends.
What band? Name one band that doesn't smoke weed, and it can't be the Octobats.
Hendrix, Jim Morrison.
I'm sure they smoked weed.
Edge. I'm pretty sure
this straight edge. Didn't Jim Morrison die from a heroin overdose?
Dude.
All of Zeppelin, pretty much straight edge.
No.
Keith Richards.
Oh no, dude!
The whole straight edge movement. People think Ian MacKaye did it. Fuck that. It's Keith Richards.
Whatever Keith Richards is doing, we all need to adopt his lifestyle because that dude is going to live to be 200.
I know, and like the straightest Rolling Stone is the one that died first. I mean, of like the OG Stones.
Drummer, right?
Brian Jones, other than Brian Jones.
The drummer just died a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah. Charlie Watts.
Yeah, that was sad. But
oh man, Stumbling and Kyle are having a conversation about what's happening with Matt right now, and Stumbling says they're heading to Home Depot to find a surgeon to perform the operation. And I was thinking they were going to be playing with him like the game operation. Because that's where you find the best surgeons is at Home Depot.
Really?
No.
What those guys can do with wood and a hammer is amazing. Build you a whole prosthetic leg.
I know what it can do with wood.
Which reminds me of that was it a TikTok you sent me, Lance? I don't know. It was a little clip of a comedy sketch from I can't remember the guy's name now. I'm sure you would remember because you love him. Pete Davidson, where he's talking about how he hates people with prosthetic legs.
Yeah.
It's
like I especially hate him when they wear shorts.
I used to live next to a guy that I swear would show it off. Like he would wear, like he'd always be outside washing his car,
about that.
And he had his leg like prominently like stuck out. And I'm like, okay, tough guy, dude. I know you got a prosthetic leg, but every other time I drive by, he'd even have it like propped up like on a box, like showing it off. And he'd like look at you, look at him, and I'm like, yeah, I see it, dude.
When did I send that to you, Max?
I can't remember.
That's funny.
That's pretty much what Pete Davidson said. He's like, yeah, you're just showing off now. We get it.
Yeah.
I need to find it. I'm going to send it to you, Jay, because I was laughing hysterically.
Yeah, I can't remember if you texted it to me or Facebooked it or what, but
ID in Afghanistan, gotcha. I get it. Went through the Humvee floor.
Look at my $45,000 leg.
No, I carried 7 of my buddies out of danger before it got me.
Look at how pretty that is.
It's time for business. When that logo comes out, it's time for business.
Is it?
It just looks mean. I love that logo.
I just thought that the logo being up would be fun to look at.
Oh,
it is. Okay, it's pretty, isn't it?
Cut the shit.
And yes, it is time to get down to business. Well, Jay's got a hard out. He told us. I want to make sure we can hear his opinions on things.
Yeah, nobody wants to hear that, dude.
That's not true. Well, let's get into some geek news. We need to get a cool little segue for geek news that we can play. It'll be like,
ooh, that's like Les Claypool type,
like a cool bass line.
Yeah, geek news.
Like
or like Seinfeld. How's it go? I don't know what it is.
I don't either, but for a while I wanted to learn how to do the bass line because I played bass, and then I found out it was just all done on a keyboard, and I'm like, oh, that's how they can do it so fast, because it sounds like slap bass. I'm like, how are they doing slap bass that fast? Which I'm sure that there are people that can do it, but yeah, they were cheating.
Keyboardists and MIDI artists, that's all cheating. Like the ones that get a keyboard and do like a drum beat and it sounds like a really amazing drum beat, and then you find out it's done on a keyboard and you're like, fucking assholes. Learn to play the drums if you want to play the drums.
Yeah, we were talking about
Kyle thought this was Couch Crunchers.
I mean, it is literally 3 of the 4 original cast members from Couch Crunchers. But we're just
Can I say how good John like John Cena's adaptation from the comic book looks like, even down to the helmet is like perfect.
Yeah. So for the listeners who aren't on the YouTube, we're about to talk about the fact that there's a rumor that Bane is going to be in Peacemaker. So that's why Lance is commenting on John Cena's toilet bowl head.
It's cool if he is.
Yeah, I think the it's a silly looking comic book character, but I thought John Cena's Peacemaker looked awesome. Like he definitely looks the part.
Oh, he looks ridiculous. He looks ridiculous, but it's perfect. Like I love that James Gunn, awesome stumbling. We'll see you next week.
Have a good night, Stumbling Jedi. Get better.
So I love that James Gunn like really went like comic book accurate with a lot of those characters. Did you notice that? Like King Shark was amazing. That was the best part. It was that you could tell that
dude.
Yeah, you could tell that the person that made this movie was like in love with the comics, not some dude that is a former Oscar winner that's never read the comic in his life, like the previous Suicide Squad director.
Was David Ayer a prior Oscar winner?
Oh, I don't know. I think he came off. I think he had a string of hits. That's what DC went after. People like they didn't have to have a love for the comic roots. They just had good luck as far as their previous movies were concerned.
I haven't seen Suicide Squad, so I can't comment. But
The
they
original?
look cool. No, that one, the new one. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, dude!
Oh man, it's so good.
I know.
Is it still on HBO Max?
I don't know if it still is. It might be. If it is, it's only going to be on for like another week.
I wanted to see it, but it just the times never worked out. So
could just paid. You could have just got the 2-week free trial for HBO Max and watched it.
Yeah, I guess.
Or paid for 1 month of HBO Max. I mean, it would have been just as much as the theater.
Yeah.
I go after work, so like if it's not at like between like a half hour to hour window, if the start time isn't at Superstition Springs Harkins, then I can't go see it. So I always have to go see something in that like narrow window of time.
Interesting.
Not really.
Interesting.
But thank you.
It's good.
Interesting is my way of saying shut up, noob. Just go see the movies. Okay.
What's that? Who said that?
I did. I said when I say interesting, I just mean shut up and go see the movie. It's not really interesting. I'm not interested in your sob story, Jay.
And plus, that's not. I don't know. From what I've heard, it's not something I could take like my little kids to. And
no.
Stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely not.
Yeah. And I don't.
It's more violent than Deadpool.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
like there's a scene where King
R.
Shark picks up a guy and just rips him in half, like from the head.
Yeah,
like his leg. Oh, dude, it's gnarly.
Well, like the first the opening sequence is like brutal. Well, like not the opening sequence, like the first like 5 minutes in, it's a bloody movie and it's awesome because of that. I love it.
I'm sure they're gonna have him do a sequel because it was good. It was really good. It's a shame that they released it on both because I think it would have made more money than it did
at the theaters. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look at Shang-Chi. Yeah.
Make sure you get that pronunciation right.
Shang-Chi.
Hey, Jay, is there a history with Peacemaker and Bane?
Nah, I don't know, dude. I haven't really seen a whole lot of Peacemaker. Or at least I haven't read a lot. I don't, either it was before my time or something that's, I don't normally read Suicide Squad. And I don't know if he's been in anything else, but not that I know of. But it's cool. It would be cool to see.
I just hope they go for the real Bane, like the one that has the venom and he juices up and stuff.
That's what I was going to ask. Would you want him
Hardy
to
bullshit?
Look? Would you want him to look like this one in the image? Like that. He's like in a luchador mask. Like, is that the look you would want, or would
Latino.
You want?
He's supposed to be Latino. Like, so it tracks.
Sure. I'm just wondering, would you want that look, or do you want just the venom, but it doesn't need to be like the luchador mask? Like, what are you wanting to see?
I kind of want that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, John Cena's Peacemaker looks silly, so why not make Bane look silly? I think that's okay.
Yeah, if they do it right, it'll look cool. To put in the right context.
I hope there's a level of campiness in it.
Well, I'm expecting it to be a comedy because it's a spin-off from a comedy movie. Mm-hmm. So I agree. I sure hope so.
I just hope it's as violent. Like that's what I want. I want like The Boys is, you know what I mean? Like I just hope that they keep the same tone and everything from the movie and go into the TV. So it just feels like a nice continuation.
A nice violent. What's wrong with you? Always want craving the violence. See, that's what movies like Deadpool do to you. They make you all bloodlust.
I don't have enough excitement in my life, so I need to see it.
Apparently on the screen. Not. Now you're going to want to go and take it upon yourself. You're going to want to go.
Oh boy,
kill somebody next time you go to the whatever the burger joint. You go to
here peddling BS.
You go. I'll make sure I'm not in front of you in line at freaking Freddy's getting your triple.
Next thing you know,
what do you mean you're out of French fries?
Next thing you know, Grandpa Jay's going to be over here telling us video games make you violent. And,
I actually wrote a paper on that senior year of high school.
Did you?
You did?
Did you argue that it is or isn't? That it does or doesn't make you violent?
That I argued both sides. So like I felt like both sides were correct, but not 100% correct.
Yeah, there's no data to suggest that it makes you violent. So you were wrong.
Well, I found lots of data.
Lance is prime example.
Yeah, I think there's a reason why a 5-year-old shouldn't watch Deadpool.
I agree with that.
Because they're impressionable.
There's a time and a place for things.
But a 16-year-old or 17-year-old understands that that's fake. And
if there's one thing I learned from the latest episode of Ted Lasso, it's that young kids are impressionable.
Yeah, I was halfway through it, and my wife came in yelling at me about something, so I didn't get to finish it.
I only got halfway through it as well. But I got to the point where the little girl is swearing because her uncle always swears around her.
Oh, I got a little past that. Okay. No, so I bought Freddy's. My wife took my other son to his baseball practice. I took my youngest son to his baseball practice, and ours got out earlier, so I stopped by and got Freddy's. And I put it all in the microwave so it didn't get all like gross sitting out on the counter, you know, because she wasn't home yet. And she got everybody's food and she's like, "Where's my food?" I'm like, "It's right there." I literally walked out and was sitting right there in the microwave with all the other food that she just grabbed. So I didn't get to finish my show because I was dealing with her blindness.
You're all, "I'm gonna kill you and get to finish Ted Lasso."
Dude, it's so good. Ted Lasso is so good.
It's an amazing show.
Did you guys read Bleeding Cool, right? I mean, you guys.
Yeah, I mean,
I've heard of it.
Something interesting comes on. Yeah, it's like an IGN technically.
There was, it's a lot of it's like total BS clickbait. There was an article on it, like a week or so ago, saying it was like more like an editorial saying how it's irresponsible for people to show, to air a show like Ted Lasso that's so optimistic when we live in a world.
Read that.
Did you read it? I saw the title and it just pissed me off.
That is such garbage.
I know.
But the show is perfect because yes, Ted Lasso is so optimistic and stuff, but everybody in there is like the antithesis to that. You know what I mean? Like,
that's somebody hasn't even watched the show.
We live in a world that like has plenty of terribleness and darkness. What's wrong with a show that brings levity and happiness and joy? Like, come on.
Because people want to wallow in it. That's what the problem is. People want to just roll around and fucking wallow in it.
Well, and that sounds like somebody that hasn't watched the show. Because what I like about Ted Lasso is he's so optimistic and his world is like truly shitty. You know, his wife divorced him. His kid lives in another country because he moves to England and his kid's still in the US. So he's like a fish out of water almost. And he still remains optimistic. Like that is possible. Like there's people that are like that.
It's awesome.
Absolutely. And I love it. And this second season is showing that even someone like Ted Lasso can be broken. Mm-hmm. And like, but it's also still showing it in a nice way, full of levity and optimism.
Yeah.
I think it's great. We need shows like Ted Lasso. It's so good.
Even then you have Ted Lasso and the exact opposite, and Roy Kent, and that dynamic is just phenomenal.
Oh, Roy Kent is hilarious, dude.
Yeah.
Did you see the people saying that he was CGI a couple weeks ago? I was like, that's ludicrous. But
he's just perfect. He's just perfect.
that was what someone was like. He looks like a player straight out of a FIFA video game, and he does. He is, he's got like the perfect jawline, good looking guy. He's like perfectly fit,
and the way he just delivers when he says "fuck," it's just the most perfect delivery.
It really is.
He's like, "Fuck no!" Like it's so.
Oh, it's so much better than that.
The
though.
exasperation when he says it is just he is. Oh, dude, I've never heard someone say it with such like genuine feeling as he has.
Are you guys still talking about Ted Lasso?
Dude. Yeah, it's Roy Kent is the character on Ted Lasso.
Jay's getting bored.
No, I was just wondering. I was clearing things up for the listener.
He's checking his Facebook right now.
No.
Yeah, Roy Kent's another character on Ted Lasso, and he's really funny. That shows a lot of fun. If you guys aren't watching it, you definitely should. The show alone is worth the $5 price of admission a month for Apple TV Plus.
It's on Apple TV.
Yeah, it's on Apple TV, and it is
Apple TV, dude. It's
the best quality out right now.
All their shows are like good. Like they're not coming out like Netflix. It's like hit or miss, right? Like you have some really good ones, and then you watch some that are just like shit, right? Apple TV, it's like everything is
dude,
good.
There's too much, dude. I gotta draw the fucking line. I mean, Apple TV is the fucking line.
Well, luckily they're not greedy assholes like everybody else. Like it's only $5. No commercials, $5.
Yeah, and
like
it's good
even
content.
Even Peacock's like we're gonna charge you $10.
Oh yeah, see that? I
don't
want to
watch Peacock.
No, I'm gonna cancel it soon.
Yeah, I think they're starting to do NFL games on there, but it's like we have YouTube TV. Like, I don't know,
there's nothing that differentiates it from everyone else.
Peacock.
All right, what's next? Peacock.
What's next is I can't believe we're talking about this again. And let's please not talk about this long. But the Venom date was moved again. But this time it was moved up. Now it's coming out October 1st. So next week on the show, what are we going to talk about? Are we going to talk about the fact that Venom was moved back another couple weeks? Because seriously, it feels like that.
Didn't you talk about it last week?
We did.
It was supposed to be October 14th or 7th.
Like we talked about the fact that I think it moved a week out. It was maybe like October 19th, or I can't remember, but it was a week later than it was originally planned. And now they're moving it back up. I wonder if it's in response to all the Paramount movies that got moved. But I don't know.
That's weird that they keep doing that. You'd think like theaters would be like scrambling around, like,
Yeah, dude.
I think it's going to be bad. I think it's going to be a bad movie. I
like to move it. So the Wookiee says, "Yeah, dude. This movie is just shaping up to be a disaster. I'm really hoping it's good because I want to see an enjoyable Venom and Carnage movie. I love the character Carnage, and I want to see him in live action. But I have not been.
You still hope it's going to be good after what I said to you earlier today?
Well, say what you said.
I said I hope that all the Sony Spider-Mans are absolute shit and nobody goes and watches them so that they do a deal with Disney that Disney can just, they can co-finance all these movies. Yeah, just take over. Them write the stories like they're doing with Spider-Man. Like the same thing. Just Sony has their separate universe and then there's the Marvel universe. Just put it all together. Let Disney write it. I mean, I'll hold reservation on that until Deadpool 3 comes out. I'd like to see how that does because that's going to be their first R-rated entry into the MCU. Because Venom, I think, needs to be R-rated if they're going to do a Venom standalone movie.
I don't know, man. Maybe. I don't know, dude. I'm sorry. I'm just wondering when the whole Marvel train is going to start jumping the shark. It's going to be pretty soon. Pretty sure it is.
I don't know what? Like
Shang-Chi, they're going to start pumping out clankers.
This is bringing in deja vu to me here, Jay. Because I remember, when was it? Probably 2018 before you left Couch Crunchers. You were saying this exact same thing. As with Cameron.
That's a good memory, man. I don't even remember anything.
You and Cameron were both talking about how, the Marvel train's ending. This superhero train it's not going to stay much longer.
Hits, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck Cameron. What was that? What
F that guy.
Did I say something?
No, Shang-Chi just broke the pandemic record and had the 9th best opening on Labor Day weekend ever.
Yeah, and that actor's hilarious because he did like stock photos before, and so he's like posting his own stock photo pictures to like troll his haters. That's awesome.
Yeah, he posted one of an accounting book with his face on it, and he says, you know, I was never a good accountant, so quit using my picture for your books. Like the dude was an accountant, a professional accountant.
Really?
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah,
that.
he went to school.
Yeah.
He was talking about it on one of his Twitter posts. He was talking about it on Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel too, about how he was an accountant. Do you know his name? He wasn't very good at it.
Is it Shim Lee?
Lu?
Simu Liu. Oh my gosh, I'm horrible.
Oh, I probably butchered that. Don't use mine as a reference.
Well,
because you went completely different, and the same reaction you had, I was having. I don't know. Let's move on to the next thing before we further embarrass ourselves.
No, I may have mispronounced it, but I want to get the guy's name right. At least
isn't it Simu?
Yeah, Simu Liu is what I'm assuming. Simu Liu.
I don't know.
Well, let's talk about What If.
Did you watch this, Jay?
Uh-huh.
Jay did watch it. What did you think, Jay? I want to hear your thoughts first.
I thought it was fun. I thought it was like really fast paced. I liked that it was kind of violent. The only thing I didn't like, it kind of, for some reason I dwelled on it. I normally don't dwell on shit like this, but like, would the zombies really know how to use a bow and arrow? Or like Falcon, when would he know how to use his mechanical wings? Because in DC's version of this, Deceased, I heard it was awesome. I think it was written by Tom Taylor. I think it was Tom Taylor wrote most of those, but I only read the first couple and they were really good. But the cool thing is that the zombie, you know, it was like they were dealing with like Wonder Woman zombie, you know, and she had her strength because it was part of her. So she was like a crazy strong zombie, busting through everything and stuff. But these guys, it's like, I'm like, really? The zombie knows how to use that grappling hook? You know, I don't know. It was kind of weird.
Yeah.
But I like the zombie, what's her face? Wasp, when she was like huge.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
Cool. That was cool.
That was awesome. And we've never seen Wasp go big like that.
That's right. That's
like
right.
We thought that was an Ant-Man trick, you know, but my daughter is freaking out right now. And of course Max left, so
yeah,
deal with it.
Did you like it?
I loved it, dude. The only problem I had with it, like, again, the art style that they chose for the whole show works a little bit better for this because it added to some of the realism to it. But my one thing is that it just seemed to end like abruptly.
Yeah.
No resolution, like it almost seemed like there was a part 2 to be set up. Like it didn't have an ending. And then but I liked how we got a little bit of a taste of Disney knows how to do the violent thing, right?
Yeah.
Because Deadpool 3 is coming out, Blade is coming out, you know, and we don't want those, and Punisher hopefully soon. We don't want those movies to be like all the other MCU stuff we see.
But they will be, dude. They will be.
Like Ryan Reynolds and those the two writers from, I think the show's called The Northwest, which is it's Bob's Burgers kind of. They're saying it's gonna be rated R, and Bob Iger came out and said yes, it's gonna be rated R. So
because they're kind of really sensitive to like gun violence and, you know, like human violence. I mean, this was like a zombie, so I guess they figured they can go crazy with it. But I'd be really surprised if they did. If it was,
I think it was weird that it was on Disney Plus.
Yeah, yeah,
like,
it was cool though.
Weird. But anytime I see violence like this in like a PG-13 type scenario, and there's no cursing whatsoever, I'm like, that's not realistic.
But it's like every Bucky and Sharon Carter. They don't curse anyway.
You can't tell me that zombie Iron Man runs in on Bucky and Bucky's not like, what the fuck? Like, you can't tell me.
T'Challa doesn't curse though. That dude doesn't. No. He's too noble.
No,
dude. How crazy was it that that Vision was feeding him?
That was awesome, dude. That was such an awesome twist. I
was not expecting that. Yeah, they did a really good job. See, and that's been my thing. Like, Max really liked the Avengers episode, right? Where that was cool. Died from Hank Pym. But nothing in that was really I'm like, okay, if the Avengers died, Loki would win. We already knew that, right? The only real twist was Hank Pym is the antagonist, right? He kind of went crazy, but it wasn't enough to do a whole episode. This is something that was completely surprising from start to finish. The T'Challa Star-Lord thing was a whole different story. It had none of it was predictable really for the most part. And
I like that
last one. What was the last one?
Doctor Strange
one. Best one yet.
That one was like
I thought it was snoozer.
I know we talked about this last week. I loved
it. I thought it was okay, but it was kind of boring. I kind of tuned out a little bit.
But it was none of it like was expected. The Avengers episode and the Peggy Carter episode, both of those I'm like, oh yeah, we could have known that would happen. Like, yeah, you threw a couple little things in there, like Steve Rogers getting the Hydra suit and Hank Pym being, but it wasn't enough to frame a whole episode around it.
I like that one too.
I thought they were dumb.
Yeah, you were objectively wrong.
I thought they were lazy. I really thought it was lazy stories.
Come on, it's an opinion.
I know. I like to give Lance crap. He does it to me too.
It's so easy to, though.
Oh, well, dude, I had to bite my tongue with your Facebook post the other day.
Mac. Which Facebook post?
He said, I don't care what anybody says, but Batman versus Superman is better than any MCU movie.
I didn't say that.
Said this.
I said better than most Marvel movies.
No.
And I stand by that. Besides
That's
the whole point.
I love that he thinks that.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, but Corbin.
The whole point of the post I was replying to was in one sentence trigger a fandom or something like that. And I triggered Lance. He just was able to keep it in his pants.
Oh, Anna made me not say anything.
You should have just said something. Who cares?
No, she was on her phone and I almost commented as her and said some nasty words.
See, there's that.
Because I knew you were trying to get a rise out of me. I knew it.
It had nothing to do with you. The world does not revolve around you, Lance.
Shh, don't tell him that. God damn it.
I wasn't even thinking about you when I posted it. That's so funny.
Hey,
he was trying to get a rise out
Zaggy,
of me.
I love the MCU. He's upset because I'm saying negative stuff.
No, I think he's saying everyone downvote because I said Batman v Superman is good.
No, it was how dare you say negative on the MCU and Kevin Feige we trust. Injustice, dude, DC has the market on the animated movies, like for sure. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. The Injustice movie doesn't look good to me. So like, I saw that trailer. Good. I saw that trailer today, and I was like, I don't think it looks very good.
Flashpoint Paradox, I thought was fantastic.
Flashpoint's awesome, and I want to see the long Halloween ones. I haven't seen those yet.
I saw the first one. I haven't seen the second one yet.
Yeah, I've heard they're pretty good. I do enjoy the DC animated stuff, but I haven't even said any of my thoughts yet on What If. So this one was
Sorry,
about.
I was addressing him.
You're good. You're good. This was about as like mediocre of a What If that I can think of. I was not into it.
Wow,
you really got to put down the alcohol when you're watching these shows because you like the bad ones and you hate the good ones.
Well, you didn't like the Sharon Carter one either. This was better than the Sharon Carter one. Like, I liked some aspects to it, but it was just overall, it was just kind of a letdown to me. The abrupt ending was fine, but like they almost seemed to be building to this whole, like they were tying the events of Infinity War in, and so I'm like, oh, is Thor going to show up at the end of the episode, and we're going to see him like kill a bunch of zombies or something? You know, like, are we going to see the Guardians show up as zombies as well? You know, maybe that was too grandiose of an expectation, but since they were doing the Infinity War timeline, I kind of expected it to go there. I liked some things about the episode. I shouldn't say it was about as mediocre as you can get, because I did like it. But like, I liked Sharon Carter. I loved having Hope on there. I thought she was really good. I thought Spider-Man obviously was great, and we're going to talk more Spider-Man later. But I don't know. It's just something about this episode. It didn't hit with me as much. I just wasn't as into it. But I'm also not a zombie guy. Like, I like The Walking Dead, but mostly for the characters. I'm not like huge into zombie stuff. And I'm with Jay. I didn't like that they could use. Yeah, I wasn't looking forward to this at all. I like how are they still able to use all their powers? And like,
I know.
Like,
well, the powers are one thing. Like,
the powers are one thing.
But yeah, like the mechanics, like how does he know to throw the shield, and how does he know to use the grappling hook?
You're right,
because
him still being a strong zombie, sure, that makes sense for Cap, or whatever it may be, or the fact that Hope was still a big zombie because she had used the Pym particles, that was fine too. Like,
yeah.
So yeah, I get that, but it was just like they were so intelligent at times. Like literally, was it Doctor Strange or Wong that was a zombie using the? He was like making portals,
magic.
And Iron Man was using his outfit. Everyone was using their powers very well, and zombies are pretty much supposed to just bite you.
Yeah, Sam was flying around, and Hawkeye was still able to hit bullseyes and stuff.
I know. But I mean, dude, discussing zombie logic, like there really is one,
Yeah, and I guess it is cool to see something different with zombies. Them retaining some degree of intelligence, I guess.
I loved the Thanos zombie thing at the end.
That was kind of cool.
I thought that was awesome. And I want to see a continuation of this episode.
I struggled. Well, so there's no way there's going to be a continuation because it literally ended with them saying that Thanos snapped the whole universe out of existence. So if the whole universe has been snapped away, it's not like half of the universe where they can still do something. But I didn't like the whole Thanos being bit thing because earlier in the episode, Bruce Banner is about to get bit and the Hulk comes out and prevents it. So how in the world is Thanos getting bit? He beat the crap out of the Hulk. He's stronger than the Hulk.
He did, but his skin's not, because Thor's Stormbreaker was able to go through Thanos's neck and it would never go through the Hulk.
I don't think that's true.
Yes, the Hulk's skin is like steel.
I don't know.
Like Thanos in the movie at least was stronger than that, but there's no way Thor would be able to put Stormbreaker through the Hulk.
I just thought of the line in Infinity War when, like, after literally 2 hours and like 15 minutes of them fighting him, he finally draws blood for the first time after Tony does all this crap, and they make a big deal out of it. So I'm like, how are these zombies drawing blood? I don't know. That's a ticky-tacky thing. It went through my brain. I'm like, how did this guy get bit? He's supposed to be like so strong. How could that happen? I don't know.
And if you had the gauntlet, like reverse time, and I don't know.
I just think they're different kind of strengths, because Hulk wore the glove and snapped his fingers and his whole arm was like deteriorated.
Yeah,
but Thanos can wear the glove just fine. But Hulk, like, bullets can't go through him, like nothing. That's why that scene in like where Hank Pym goes inside the Hulk and expands, like, didn't make sense to me. Like, isn't the
he basically expanded inside of his heart? Wasn't that the idea? Like, ruptured his heart,
his whole body, like, became like the blueberry on Willy Wonka.
So overall, I did like it. It was just one of the weaker ones for me. Do we know what next week's is going to be?
I hope it's part 2 of this. Because I feel like I was like, what? Like, I looked at my TV, like it went black, and I'm like, oh, what's happening next? And there was credits.
Yeah, it ended really abruptly. So, like, my wife was out of town until Wednesday afternoon on a little trip, and I started watching What If Wednesday afternoon, and she came in like probably 30 seconds before the end of it, but I didn't know that because it was like Spider-Man and T'Challa and Banner on this train heading somewhere. And so I'm like, oh, and it said 5 minutes left, which I have to remember anytime there's 5 minutes left on a Disney Plus show, that's all credits, because they do so many freaking credits.
I don't know,
but
what
like,
the deal is, man.
But I saw that and I'm like, oh, okay, so we're gonna have like a few more minutes of story and then credits. And I paused it as she came in, and then like 30 minutes later, I finished the episode, and there was literally like maybe a minute left of the episode. I'm like, oh, I could have just kept watching it when she walked in the door and just finished this thing.
So
it was really abrupt. It just out of nowhere.
Let me ask you guys a weird thing.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I was going to ask real quick.
The rumor with episode 6 is going to be about Thor. That's all I wanted to say.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So go ahead.
I was just going to say real quick. This might sound weird, but is this the first time that the Tom Holland Spider-Man's ever mentioned Uncle Ben?
Yes.
Okay, because when he said it, I'm like, Oh, weird. I don't think they've ever even talked about Uncle Ben before.
Yeah, I think they understood the audiences know about Uncle Ben, so they never mentioned him. They mention in Homecoming like a tragedy, or like he mentions, she's just, Aunt May's going through so much right now with everything that's happened recently. So like that, they allude to it, but yeah, that was the first time that they officially mentioned it.
Yeah,
the Uncle Ben scene I would equate to the same as Bruce Wayne's parents getting shot in the alley.
Pearls,
absolutely.
Clutching of
We've
the pearls.
seen it enough.
I know. I
We've
agree.
seen it enough, and it's implied. We all know it happened.
Yeah, like I hope it doesn't even. I don't need to see it in the Robert Pattinson thing, and if we do, it needs to be really brief. We don't,
I liked how Zack Snyder did it, where it was in the credits. In the
and that's what I mean. Like something like that, fine. But even that, I don't need to see it. We all know. We get it.
And Batman's it was Negan and Maggie.
Yeah. The irony. Yeah. Those two characters in Walking Dead would not be married. Let's just say that. Yeah. Well, is there anything else you guys want to talk about with What If?
No. I mean, visually it was cool. Ended abruptly. I really wish they would have gotten the main actors to do the voices, because some of them throw me off.
They did get a lot of them.
I feel like it was mostly the main
Tom
actors.
Holland wasn't him.
It felt like Tom Holland to me.
No, it was not Tom Holland.
I didn't see his name in the credits, but I know it was Paul Rudd. I know it was
Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, and what's his face? T'Challa, Chadwick Boseman, Sebastian Stan, and yeah, was it Paul Bettany? Was Vision, I think, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's just in the last episode, like they didn't get like a lot of them were different. Every episode, like there's been 3 or 4 characters that it's not voiced by the same actors from the movies.
Yeah, no, this one in particular, they got most of the main. Evangeline Lilly, I think it was
the
her.
only one I'm seeing that was not is Peter Parker, and I thought it was Tom Holland, but it's this kid named Hudson Thames. Like everyone else, Sebastian Stan was Bucky, Chadwick Boseman was T'Challa, which that surprised me because I thought they had said that Chadwick Boseman's last performance as T'Challa was going to be the Star-Lord episode, and then boom, here he was in this one.
I didn't hear that was a Star-Lord episode in particular. I heard it was What If.
Oh, maybe I just misunderstood then. Oh, speaking of What If, Happy's role was hilarious. I thought Happy was.
Oh yeah.
He was walking around with the gauntlet,
and he was like pew pew. Wasn't he like doing like the pew pew sound? Like that was really funny.
And I think that was a direct reference, like making fun of Chris Pratt, who did that in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. There was a story when they were filming the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie that James Gunn had to yell at Chris Pratt because every time he shot the gun, he was going pew pew pew, and they couldn't get him to stop doing that. And I just found it funny that they were doing it in the show. That
would be a deeply hidden Easter egg.
Can you pick up a gun and not go pew 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 like if you were playing around with your kids or something? I do it all the time.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, no,
you're old and lame.
I said no, I can't. I was
he literally agreed.
Oh, I thought you were saying no, you
bastard.
Oh, that's good.
You're old and stupid. What do we have you on this show? Go watch Andy Griffith, Grandpa. Matlock's on. Go drink some warm milk. Go to bed.
Watch Perry Mason.
You guys are
Here's somebody robbed the liquor store again this week. Time for Perry Mason to solve it.
Let's talk about some video games. Sony hosted a PlayStation showcase this Thursday, and there is a lot of news that came out of it. First and foremost, let's tackle the Marvel stuff that came out. So the first thing that I'm going to let Lance cover this. Spider-Man 2, baby.
Excited.
Tell us about this.
So excited. Like, because I was telling Max about this earlier today. Like with Miles Morales, it felt almost like kind of a DLC, right? Like it wasn't a full game, but it wasn't like a real sequel. And I also didn't like that there was no, like, I thought there was going to be like Peter Parker, Miles Morales, like more interaction between those two characters. Yeah. It sounds like this game is going to be everything I thought the last game was. And that's not to say I didn't love the last game. Spider-Man 1 and Miles Morales are great. Just Miles Morales was too short.
Yeah, it was short.
But the stuff in this trailer, Jay, have you seen it?
Mm-mm.
The trailer? Oh, dude, even if you don't play video games, it's worth watching. So Max, Matt, and I were thinking there's a voiceover happening throughout this whole trailer, and we're thinking it's Kraven the Hunter. So Kraven the Hunter, we think, is going to play a major role in this. So Miles Morales and Peter Parker are going to be fighting Kraven, and then at the very end, you get a Venom tease. And if you want to go to the next screen, Max, that's Venom from the game, and it looks so freaking awesome, dude. So you got Kraven the Hunter, Venom, Miles, and Peter, just in an epic. Oh, dude, yeah, I'm so excited for this game.
Yeah, me too, dude. And Venom was teased in the original game. I don't know if you remember that, but when you're like in the
Harry Osborn,
lab,
right?
Yeah, in the Oscorp lab, like they talk about it and how they can't. Like, I think some guys were in space and they came back and they brought this weird material. I think the symbiote might actually even be in that lab.
They were using it. I think you read something that they were using it to heal Harry Osborn.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Which is what they did isn't that what they did in the Amazing Spider-Man 2? Or they were using something to heal Harry because he had some like weird cancer, and that's what made him turn into the
They were, but it wasn't the symbiote, or however you say it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But dude, it looks awesome. Like, if you don't have a PS5, these games are worth it alone.
They are worth the price of admission.
Well, if you can find one.
That's true. It is hard to find one.
You know, it's like you can just walk down to the freaking Walmart or whatever and hoist yourself one or two.
Believe me, I know. I lucked into it. Max ordered one, was going to cancel his order. And I said, no, I'll buy it.
Yeah, I am good at buying these things.
Yeah.
I've purchased 2 PS5s, only one of which I own. I bought the Series X. I was able to acquire a Series S, and then I returned it. I got a graphics card. So I guess this is a strength I have. Maybe I'll start a side hustle.
Yeah, when I'm ready to buy the new Xbox, I'm just going to make you hunt for it. Because I have no luck.
Yeah, it's hard to find. But dude, I'm so stoked for this new Spider-Man game. Like I was mentioning, if you have the means somehow to play the first 2, even if it's on PS4, because both of the last 2 games are on PS4. They are so good. They're some of the best open world games out there. If you want to feel like Spider-Man, you do feel like Spider-Man. Web slinging around the city is so much fun that even though they have a fast travel system, you don't want to use it for the most part.
Yeah.
Like you
will literally go the length of New York to get to your next mission just by swinging rather than use the subways.
And it's so satisfying, you don't mind. Like, like at least I don't. Like I fast traveled maybe once or twice while playing the game. Because I've played it twice through, but for the most part, I don't want to, because it's just fun to swing around the city and beat the crap out of thugs. And I'm really curious to see how the Wolverine game that we're going to talk about here in a minute is going to go, because Spider-Man, I think, he's a character that fits really well in a video game space, because he does fight. I don't know. He swings around a city. He's got these cool superpowers. He can web people up. He can use gadgets. He fights street level thugs regularly. It's why a Superman video game has always been hard, because Superman fighting a bunch of thugs doesn't make sense. Like, he's so powerful, they can't do anything to him. That's why Batman worked in the video game. Yeah, that one worked. And that's why Spider-Man works. Like, Spider-Man's really powerful, but he still could get taken down by a bunch of guys if there's enough of them. But yeah, let's just get into the next one. We can keep talking about Spider-Man on top of this, but Insomniac, the studio that made the Spider-Man games and is making the new Spider-Man game, is, I swear, the most fortunate studio in the world, because now they get to make a Wolverine video game. And I tell you what, man, I'm starting to feel bad for Xbox fans. If you are Xbox and Marvel, like, don't get me wrong, Xbox has some good games. They have a lot of stuff coming out in the near future. But dude, you get Spider-Man and Wolverine if you have a PS5.
And I'm sure it's not going to stop there.
It may not. Yeah. I'm really wondering if this Wolverine thing might be tied into the movie deals they made with Spider-Man. Because, they pulled Spider-Man out and said that he's not going to be in the MCU anymore. And then like 6 months later, they had changed that and brought him back. I'm honestly wondering if Wolverine might have been part of that deal. If there's other things we don't know about that was part of that deal.
Stuff.
Yeah, for games, like I don't know, maybe not. Maybe the movie and games divisions aren't tied in that closely, but I could see that being part of it because it makes Sony money regardless, you know.
Yeah. So what villains or what characters would you guys want to see?
We don't know anything about this.
No, what would you want to see?
Sentinels.
Sabretooth for sure.
Oh, Sentinels would be fun. Oh yeah, Sabretooth is a given. Yeah,
that's the first one I'd want to see. I'd also want to see some of the other X-Men in this. I don't know at what point in Wolverine's life this is going to take place.
Maybe if it's dreaming about Jean Grey, you know.
Yeah, does he already know the X-Men? Is this pre-X-Men? It very well could be pre-X-Men, and like, you know, by the end of the game, maybe he encounters the X-Men. But I would 100% want to see Sabretooth. I think it would be cool to see Magneto. But yeah, Sentinels would be cool, but I don't know if Sentinels exist yet if it's like pre-X-Men.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not. I was just saying my wish list. I've Sentinels to me were like always the coolest when I was a kid watching Sentinels the animated series and stuff.
And I'm just speculating. This could be post X-Men. This could be in, you know, during his time with them. Who knows?
He does. I mean, I don't want to be one of those people, but judging by this image, it looks after.
That's what after. You mean
it looked before?
Well, just because he's like in a flannel and it looks like he's like on a wood like table, like at a pub or something.
And that's exactly where he is. There's like a 50-second trailer and it shows basically I
haven't seen it. I didn't know there was a trailer.
Yeah, there's a trailer. Let me see if I can pull it up and we'll throw it on here.
That'd be cool.
I don't think
Can we watch it?
Can we watch it? A trailer.
Yeah, we can watch it on here. Wolverine game trailer. Let's let me pull it up here.
I say, his knuckles are all bloody, but that could be his blood.
Yeah, it could be. Here, let's throw it up.
Max, you like my awesome shirt?
The morphin time, nice. Yeah, I do. Yeah, are we up?
Always fishing for the compliments.
Absolutely. I had no idea there was a trailer.
Can you guys hear the sound? Is that working?
Uh-huh.
All right, so yeah, this is the trailer. The music already.
It's cool because like I've always wanted to do a reaction video, and I've never seen this before.
Oh, here you go. Now you get to. If you're a listener only, I encourage you to watch this trailer because it is really good. So we see Logan just kind of sitting there he's got a cowboy hat on. That's kind of new.
Dude with the knives coming up behind him.
Yeah, that's a bad idea. That's it. Real quick teaser trailer.
Wow.
That's awesome, dude. I was I didn't know a trailer existed, so I was just like off speculation. I would have loved for them to do like a Last of Us storyline like Logan, like with X-23 and stuff. Like I think that would make such a cool game, you know, because Last of Us is so good, and every time I played Last of Us, I got like Logan vibes, you know,
like the main dude was Logan.
The main dude was Logan. The girl was X-23. Like just that whole. Like I think that would make an amazing game.
It would make a really good game. Like basically the Logan movie put into a video game would have been pretty good. Yeah.
Except they probably wouldn't be affected by like zombie viruses, right?
Well, I don't mean zombie. I just mean like the movie Logan could have been like adapted into like a video game format and been really good.
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Yeah.
Comics are fun. Sticks boy.
Yeah, I've seen Sticks in here before. How you doing, man? Thanks for coming in.
Rogue would be awesome. Rogue would definitely be awesome.
Rogue would be cool, but that seems kind of far-reaching as far as his little circle.
So now that you've seen the trailer, do you think that is maybe again, it doesn't show us a lot, but I think it seems more pre-X-Men. It almost feels very like the first X-Men movie-esque where he's doing the cage fighting and he's in a bar and like I don't know, that's kind of the vibe I got from it.
I would still say yes, except like before he walked in, like everything was all messed up. Like it looked like almost post-apocalyptic looking.
We're talking about the Wolverine game. It was just announced yesterday. Yesterday, Max?
Yes, Thursday.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. All I know is that I'm on board, dude. I'm on board. I think I'm gonna love this game too. I hope I love this game.
Yeah, the fact that it's the same developers as Insomniac, I'm curious if it's going to be like an open world type game. I'm thinking no. I'm thinking maybe it's going to be more of a linear like story game rather than like open world. But I mean, maybe they could make open world work. Maybe that'd be really cool. I don't know. I know, Jay, you're not as much of a gamer, but
but I still like this. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, it's enough to make me want to go buy one.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I just don't have to. I don't know how you guys find the time. You guys watch like everything on TV. You guys play all these video games. Watch like every new movie that squirms out of like every friggin' app. I don't know. You guys find the time, dude.
I don't play near as many video games as Max does. I play probably 3 or 4 a year. That's it. Like the big titles that come out that really excite me, I play those, and then the rest of the year it's collecting dust. Like
3 or 4 a week.
Yeah, he plays a lot.
I'm kidding. I don't play that much.
But you only have your kid's little Max, so Max has got tons of time.
Well, and I don't really need a lot of sleep. My wife is an early bird, so she goes to bed at like 9. My kid's in sleep by like 7:30. She and I get about an hour and a half, 2 hours time without him. We'll watch shows or talk or whatever, and then she goes to bed, and then I'm up until like midnight to 1 a.m. playing video games, because then I wake up at like 7:30 in the morning and get straight to work, and then I work. So I have some time.
Good solid 20 minutes.
Sticks brought up a good point. Like the window between pre-X-Men and Weapon X isn't that big, and it's definitely after Weapon X because he has the adamantium.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's why I'm thinking it feels almost like right before the X-Men.
Yeah.
But they could also do a different storyline. They could make their own thing.
I don't know. I mean, with Spider-Man, they were pretty true to the comic.
Yeah.
I just mean them doing that.
I just mean they may not be like necessarily following the movie storyline, because like in the movies, it's like it feels like in the 80s is when he gets his adamantium. It feels like he's had it for about 20 years before the events of that movie. So that's still a pretty big window of time.
No, because Weapon X, I mean, Deadpool's also part of Weapon X.
Actually, we get confirmation that in this universe, Weapon X happened in the 80s. We saw that in X-Men Apocalypse, because he shows up.
That's the movies.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying in the movie universe, there's about a 20-year period in between Weapon X and the first movie. So that's what I'm saying. It just depends on what storyline they're following.
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't even remember.
Proper Wolverine versus Deadpool game would be fun.
That could be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Not that bullshit we got from Fox, where they sewed his mouth shut. How do you have the merc mouth
weird,
and you sew his mouth shut?
Yeah, that was dumb. That was a really dumb idea.
No sense.
Yeah.
Okay. What's next?
Whoa! This is something Jay will be interested in. Another thing on the PlayStation showcase was that Knights of the Old Republic, KOTOR, as many people referred to it, is being remade. I'm very excited about this. And I haven't even played the original games. I've tried multiple times.
You haven't?
No, the controls are so clunky. I have a hard time playing it. Like, it's just...
I played it when they were released.
Yeah, the first time I tried playing it was probably 10 years ago. So by then, it was already like a 10-year-old game. So it felt old already. And so I don't know. I missed the window.
Max was telling me that he was beneath. He's way too advanced for those clunkers.
He doesn't play the vintage.
So it's like playing,
I don't mind some vintage, but a lot of people agree that the controls in the original one are really clunky. The second one I hear has much better controls though. So I don't know.
What were these originally on? Were they on PlayStation? The first ones?
They were only on Xbox.
Really?
That's what's weird is the remake is coming out on PS5 exclusively.
Yeah, it's a timed exclusive is what I'm hearing.
What does that mean?
So it means that like probably for a year it'll only be on PlayStation 5
because they did the same thing with Tomb Raider, right?
They did the other way around. Xbox
other way around
exclusive.
Yeah,
they had Tomb Raider for a year. PlayStation does this all the time. There's a game called Deathloop that is from Arcane Studios, who is owned by Microsoft. But before Microsoft purchased them, before Microsoft purchased Bethesda, PlayStation already had a deal in place. So it's just funny because Deathloop is only coming to PlayStation for the first year, but technically Xbox owns the studio and the game. But because
they don't care, they're going to make their money regardless.
They're going to make their money regardless. And a year from now, it's going to come on Game Pass, and they're going to make money again. But this is interesting. The original game was on Xbox, and now this one's on PS5, at least for the first year. And by the way, Sony did confirm for Spider-Man and Wolverine that they are not going to be on PS4. They will only be on PS5. But Spider-Man 2 is not coming out till 2023. Wolverine's not coming out until after that.
Dang. So about this game, though, is this going to be a sequel or like a
remake?
It is a remake.
It's a remake.
Yeah, the official title is Knights of the Old Republic remake.
Yep.
If you look at
the remake is in the title?
Yes.
Yeah.
No shit. What the heck?
So I'm curious because like Final Fantasy VII, they did a remake, but they took a lot of liberties, which I'm fine with. Like, I don't want them to just remake the same game with the same controls with new graphics. Like
they did it with Tony Hawk, and I'm totally on board with it.
I think Tony Hawk is different.
Looks fun. Do they still have punk music on the new Tony Hawk?
Yeah, and they added a bunch of new stuff. They added new MXPX. They added new Goldfinger. Like, there's a whole bunch of new songs on there too.
Yeah, but when you have games like Jedi Fallen Order now that have really fun lightsaber combat, and you know that there's going to be Jedi combat in this game, they're going to be going with a new combat style. They're not going to do the turn-based stuff that they had in like 2000 when this game came out originally.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would be very surprised if they do that. I'm expecting like a third-person shooter game because I know some of it's got shooting, and then once you get your lightsaber, it's going to have good lightsaber combat, probably with countering, and like I'm expecting it to be like an action RPG type game. That's what I'm hoping.
I have a question.
For. Yeah.
So Disney purchased Star Wars and then made a bunch of the old stuff not canon. Is the old Knights of the Old Republic canon?
No.
Yeah, so I don't think so.
I do think they would change this game because I don't think Disney would allow them to put stuff out there that's not canon.
Right? Well, it could be.
Interesting.
I expect the story will be slightly different, but this could be a world where they pretty much everything new that's been coming out since Disney took over is canon now. So I'm expecting that this game will be. Yeah. Unless they come out and say otherwise.
They might have to change a couple of things if Disney doesn't want certain.
I don't know that they have to. There's really nothing that, as far as I'm aware, that would conflict with current canon.
Yeah, it's so far removed, so far in the past that I don't think there's anything tying it to anything current. But that's awesome, man. Well, I was just doing some mathematical calculations in my head. If these things don't come out until 2023, that means 2 of my kids are going to be out of the house, which is going to free me up a lot of time. And I think I may be on the market for PS5 at that point.
There you go.
So I think I'm going to be in. I think I'm going to be in.
Sounds good. Yeah,
we don't know. Do you have a PS4, Jay?
Me? No, dude. I think the last PlayStation I had was like 2. I think.
Yeah,
I was gonna say because you're gonna need to play the first 2 before you get into Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, and this game doesn't have any kind of release window. They didn't provide anything. I don't know how long the studio has been working on it. I don't expect it to come out until at least 2023, probably later. But I mean, for all we know, they've been working on it for a couple years already, and games seem to take about 4 to 5 years to make, is what I've noticed.
I have heard rumors about this for a couple years.
Oh yeah, it's been rumored for a long time.
Like back when the PS4 was out, like in its heyday, I heard rumors about that.
Oh yeah, it's been long requested. People have wanted it for a long, long time.
My only thing is, why didn't they do both games together like what Tony Hawk did, 1 and 2?
How do you know they didn't? How do you know they're not?
I think the logo would say 1 and 2.
You think?
I think so.
Who knows? I am not expecting this to include 2. They are they're going to want to cash in. No, because this isn't just like they're not just taking the old game and making it look nicer. They're rebuilding the game from scratch.
Yeah.
So it's going to take them a while.
And now that I'm thinking of something too, like I do think they're probably going to change some of the story in this because most games now that are just basically just spruced up and everything are called remaster, and this one's called remake.
Yes.
This is really the first time I've heard like Final Fantasy and this one as remake. Everything else has been remastered.
It just depends. So like Resident Evil 2 and 3, they remade those. And I didn't play the original ones, but from what I've heard, the remakes are basically they're basically the same old games, just made to look better, and the combat is just smoother. So it depends. Sometimes remakes like the Resident Evil ones are basically the same game, just way prettier.
They call it remake, not remastered.
They called it remake because they rebuilt the game from scratch. They just used all the same story beats and bosses, and it's a little different than just remastering it. Because remastering, like they use basically the same code, is my understanding, from the original game, and like they use like the same engine, and they just kind of they up-res things. I'm probably oversimplifying it. I don't make games, but for like Mass Effect Legendary Edition that came out, it was the original games were built in Unreal Engine 3, which is a really old game development engine at this point. Unreal Engine 5 is releasing here in a few months. But the remaster, they did all of it in Unreal Engine 3 because they were using all of those old assets and kind of just upscaling them and making them better and working out bugs. That's not what's going to be happening here. They're remaking everything from scratch.
Oh, that sounds pretty cool, man.
I'm really
cool, actually.
Yeah, I am really excited. We got Revan here in the picture, and he is a very...
What's that name?
Revan.
Have you read the Darth Revan novel, Max?
I haven't, no.
In fact, I think there's a whole series of novels of Knights of the Old Republic.
He's a very popular character. He's like one of the oldest Sith out there. Just he's one of the most beloved Star Wars characters, and I need to learn more about him.
Is Solo Wookiee still in the chat?
I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
I was going to ask him if he knows if Knights of the Old Republic started in the comics or the video game.
I think I pissed Solo off at some point. I said something he didn't like.
I think he was kidding. Solo's he's a good humored guy.
I know he's on that Star Wars show, so I know he knows a lot about Star Wars. I mean, I know Max does too, but we didn't know if the comics, Knights of the Old Republic comics came out first or the video games came out first.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was the video games.
Yeah, that's what Max was saying. I don't know.
Those are old. Like,
the comics are pretty old too, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was the games at all.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Well, there's another game I want to talk about. This one is called Forspoken. There was a lot. The PlayStation Showcase had a lot of great stuff, and there's things we're not going to be talking about because we just don't have the time. But Forspoken is a new game coming out, developed by Square Enix, who's the same developer that does the Final Fantasy games, as well as Tomb Raider and quite a few others. And it looks so good. Like
is that like a prehistoric thing? Is that what it looks like?
No, I'm not 100% sure what it is, but it's like
comic came out first.
It's an alternate world. Okay, comic for KOTOR came out first. Yeah. Cool. But like this is like an alternate world. Like this girl, I think her name's Frey, is transported from what is seemingly our Earth, like modern day Earth, into this like new mystical magical world. And she gets this like bracelet here that kind of looks like the 10 rings from Shang-Chi, honestly, if you see that on the right hand.
It does.
And the powers kind of feel like the same as the powers from the 10 rings, which I'm fine with. So it essentially feels like we're getting this like open world superhero game against where you're fighting like mythical beasts, and it's
like a big bear or something coming at her.
Yeah, it does, like a bear, and it's kind of like got a mane like a lion. I don't know.
It looks like Turok. Kind of looks like Turok. Do you guys remember Turok, the dinosaur hunter?
Yeah, but that one you fought dinosaurs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks like a zombie.
That's the only comparison I can draw from. Okay, man. I'm trying to be relevant here.
Oh, you found some Baja Blast Zero? Nice.
In Colorado, dude. I bought every case they had at the Target.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't seen some Zero in a while. Last time I saw it, I bought 4 cases. I didn't want to clear
I got 4
store
cases.
out. Nice.
I cleaned them out. I said, "Fuck this place."
That's a hot commodity, man.
I took all of it.
Stick says it's the 10 rings from the Kardashian collection.
It kind of looks like woven, like it's one.
Oh yeah. Like strand.
Yeah, so it's got a personality. So like in the trailer that they showed, it was speaking to her, and so it looks like they're like, and it was kind of funny, and so it's like it looks like they've got some good humor going on in this game. It's got they're saying it has it's going to be the prettiest or like the most graphically well-made open world game ever.
Oh, that makes me nervous. Because Cyberpunk said the same thing, and that was a shit show.
Cyberpunk, yeah, it's because I played it on PC, but it was a great game. I loved it, but it had a lot of bugs elsewhere.
Yeah. So anytime they say it's going to be the most amazing game ever, and they put all this like build up, and then it just is glitchy as hell, like the Avengers game, the Cyberpunk game.
It's funny. My thought when I hear that is less. I'm not as worried about like crazy bugs so much as, okay, if this is the most graphically pretty game ever, how is it going to perform? That's what I'm worried about. Am I all of a sudden like, because I've got a good rig, and like most games, even open world games, I can get like 90 to 100 frames per second, with like mostly maxed out settings. I'm a little worried I'm going to pop this game in, and all of a sudden I'm going to be getting like 30 frames a second.
Your computer runs better than a PS5 or Xbox, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and if they're building it to work on PS5, it should work on your Xbox or your PlayStation or your computer.
PC. Yeah. In theory, but that's not always the case. So here's the problem. Sometimes like I finally figured it out, and I'm not even sure what the heck happened. I've been playing a lot of Destiny 2 lately, and I've been playing it on my PC, and it's been really aggravating because like on console you can play it and it is a constant 60 frames per second. It's going to run smooth for you pretty much no matter what. On my PC, I don't have max settings on. I turned some things down because I really just want to get good performance out of it. And I was getting like 100 frames or 120 frames a second, but then all of a sudden it would drop me down for like 3 or 4 seconds down to like 25 frames, which is really jarring. Like I'm sure you guys have played a game before where it like feels stuttery, or if not, you've experienced buffering in a movie, or like when you're streaming it.
Assassin's Creed did that to me all the time. Valhalla. Valhalla had a lot of glitches in it too.
Even on your PS5.
Yeah.
So like Destiny 2 was dropping
Six
nearly.
Wants to know if he can play this on his GameCube.
No, you cannot play this on your GameCube. I don't imagine it would run at all on there.
So all these games are coming out for PS5. Did Xbox have anything coming out? Like, is there anything interesting going on in that?
Xbox said, "Oh, we got Halo."
So Xbox does have a lot of stuff coming out. They did a showcase at E3 back in June. But yeah, they've got this cool game called Starfield coming out. It's going to be like you've heard of Skyrim, right, Jay?
Yeah, I think
Elder
so.
Elder Scrolls, like Morrowind, Oblivion, if you've heard of those. Anyway, it's they're basically describing it as like Skyrim in space. So it's going to be an open world sci-fi game. You have a spaceship, you can travel around like the solar system they're creating. It sounds really cool. So like there's that. There's obviously Halo. There's the Gears games. Fable is being remade for Xbox. That's going to be exclusive. So Xbox has a lot of stuff. It's just the reason we're talking about PlayStation is because they did a showcase on Thursday.
Recently.
Yeah.
But no licensed games like Spider-Man or Wolverine or Star Wars. They don't have anything like
they do licensed. Actually. We don't know if it's going to be exclusive or not yet.
Dune. They're going to have an exclusive Dune game.
Indiana Jones.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, one of their studios, Machine Games, they are going to be doing Indiana Jones. We don't know for sure if it's only coming to Xbox and PC. It may come to PlayStation. We don't know yet, but it is going to be an Xbox game. They're developed by them. So
that one looked good too.
Yeah, we didn't see much, but it does look cool. And Indiana Jones is a cool franchise.
Yeah, I think that it could be, if they do it right, it could feel like Uncharted 5 for me. You know what I mean? Like
it could.
Uncharted, I've always compared to Indiana Jones a little bit. Uncharted is like one of my favorite game series. which Sony also announced that they're remaking Uncharted 4.
So they're doing a PS5 version and releasing it for PC, as well as Uncharted Lost Legacy. Yeah. So anyway, I can get long-winded, but basically my concern is sometimes PC games don't run as good as you would expect them to, even though the PC is more powerful. They're optimized for a console, so I'm worried that, it might run perfectly on the Xbox, but on my PC, or not the Xbox, the PS5, but on my PC, because it is coming to PC, but not Xbox.
They got a new Jurassic World game coming out.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Licensed games aren't usually very exciting.
Yeah,
but no, they've got some cool stuff coming out on Xbox. They've got this game called Redfall coming out next year that looks pretty interesting. It's like
Age of Empires
vampire game. Yeah, Age of Empires is Xbox.
Cool.
That's a big game.
Yeah, that's a big franchise. I'm not really into those, but that is a big franchise.
I played.
They just released Psychonauts 2, which has been.
That's
it's like it's like a platformer.
The first time I heard that, I thought it was a punk band.
That would be a cool punk name.
It does sound like a punk band.
I thought it was a punk band the first time I heard that name.
Nice. Well, Jay, I'm assuming we're not going to be able to keep you for the whole show. We don't have a ton left to talk about, but I know you have a hard out in like 8 minutes. Let's move on to our last gaming topic, which is God of War Ragnarok. Lance hasn't played the original yet. I know you're interested in playing it. Holy crap. I'm excited about this game.
But how many are there in this series?
So this will be the 5th God of War game.
Oh.
But I've only played the last one. So like they did the first 3 games on like the PS2 through the PS3 era. And I never played any of those. And then they kind of rebooted the whole franchise.
Oh.
And it is a sequel. Like the last game that came out, the 4th game, they didn't call it God of War 4. They just called it God of War. So it was kind of like a reboot because like the original games are Greek mythology. Like he basically killed all the Greek gods, like Zeus and Ares and all of them. And then in this, now he's in like the Norse gods world. And he's trying to just kind of live his life in peace. And he started a family. And that young kid there in the picture is this kid, Atreus. And so in the last game, this isn't a spoiler. The game literally starts off with the mom has just died. And they're wanting to take her ashes to the highest point in all the land because that was her wish. And so you get to like go on this journey, father and son. And it's an incredible experience. The combat's fun. The graphics are beautiful. But like, I don't even care about that hardly. The music and the story are just top of the line.
Yeah, I'm going to have to play that game.
Atreus, not Atreyu.
Yeah, that's what I thought when you said that. Like, Neverending Story, Atreyu?
No, Atreus.
That's funny you go to Neverending Story. I was thinking of the metal band.
I was too.
Oh, yeah, you kids.
I know it's from Neverending Story. That's where they got it from, but it wasn't the first thought that came up in my mind. No, Valhalla kind of made me love that Norse era, like because Valhalla is so good. I just quit it because it takes too long.
You're probably getting close to the ending. You just don't realize it.
No, it says I only have like 26% done, and I played that game for like
that's probably 26% of like everything. You might be further in the story than you think.
Lance's ADD kicks in.
I don't blame him. If I put like 15 hours into something and they're like, "You're only 4% done," I'd be like, "What?"
Well, Anna was just referencing when I was playing The Last of Us 2 and I was calling Max. I was like, yeah, I'm at this point. And he's like, oh, you're almost to the end. And there was like still like 3 days left of playing for me. Like the end for him is like, oh, I can get this done in like 3 hours. Well, I only play for an hour at a time. So it's like
that game, I know life to that game. It came out like a month before my kid was born. And I think I beat it in 3 days, and it's a 20-hour video game. Like I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop
That's
playing.
So
it.
Great.
I could not stop playing it. But God of War is just as good. Like I replayed it again last year, right before my kid was born, which was kind of cool because it's a father and son story. So like dads can definitely relate to this game. It's really good. I'm just a little concerned about a couple of things. One, the game is not being directed by the same guy who directed the last one. I think that's a mistake, but hopefully it doesn't matter and hopefully it's great. Two, the combat and like gameplay looked basically the exact same as the last game, and that had me a little concerned. I'm like, are we not doing anything new here? Are we not going to innovate at all? And then third, and this isn't so much a concern as just I loved the last game so much, but they said that this game is going to be, it's Ragnarok, so Ragnarok's going to happen. They said it's going to put a cap on the Norse storyline for Kratos, the main character. And I'm like, you're only going to give me 2 games with Norse mythology? I want more. So I'm just so bummed. I am greedy.
The Last of Us.
But they're bringing in Thor. Odin's going to be in this one. You're going to have Tyr.
Dang.
Like, you've got big hitter gods from the Norse mythology. They had other gods in the last game, but Thor and Odin didn't make an appearance. They were just they were mentioned a lot, but they weren't in it. So yeah, really stoked for this. It's supposed to come out next year. No, they haven't given us a date. I'm gonna guess near the end of 2022 is when it comes out, but I could be wrong. Maybe it's gonna be like May. I don't know.
Sticks. The only speed plays that I've seen are like the Mario games, where they find like a cheat that makes them run through like the whole game.
Well, let's get off of video games now. Jay,
Dude, I know forgot to watch this.
We've got you for a few more minutes, so I want to hear your thoughts on the Matrix Resurrections trailer.
I think it looks cool. I think it's awesome that he. So I don't even really know what's going on. I don't know if you're supposed to or what, but it looks like
I think you're supposed to be confused.
Like back in the Matrix, and obviously he's older, and Trinity's older, and it almost seems like something is stirring back up again. And I think it looks awesome. I'm like everybody else, where I definitely thought the last Matrix kind of sucked, but the 2 and 3 were kind of crappy, and I'm really glad that it's back to like this, a little more grounded. Because I thought the first Matrix is like one of the best sci-fi movies ever.
Agreed.
Like, ever.
To this date, it is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, and so I'm glad that it kind of gives me the same same feel. So I'm totally on board. What did you think?
I agree. I'm excited about the fact that it's grounded a little bit more. It seems like they're going to be in the Matrix most of the movie, if not all of it. Well, not all of it, but because there were shots in the trailer where they showed like the being hooked into the
agents
Matrix,
and stuff. Yeah.
But anyway, it looks cool. But I'm just intrigued because at the end of the last movie, unless I'm forgetting, Neo dies. Pretty sure Trinity died. The Matrix got destroyed, I thought. So I'm just like, so what's going on?
Yeah.
What's going on? Because in the trailer, we see he's still the one. Like, he's moving, he's stopping bullets, he's moving rockets out of the way. So did someone rebuild the Matrix and like take like a copy of him and put him back in? Is that why he and Trinity don't remember each other?
Yeah, there's that whole part. Yeah,
because it's like code. I don't know. Like, I'm very intrigued and excited to learn more. There was only one thing that I've heard some critique on that I'm kind of in agreement with, and this is ticky-tacky. The coloring of the visuals. In the original, it was like a lot of like darker tones, like a lot of green, like that was part of the style. And this one just felt really colorful in the trailer. And is that going to make me not watch it? No. It just that little aspect of it didn't feel as Matrix to me, but that's not the end of the world. That was just the only like critique I personally had. I'm stoked for it.
Yeah, man, me too. But when that part where Neo and Trinity were talking, it seemed like he remembered her, but she didn't remember him. At least that's what it looked like to me, anyway.
You might be right. I don't know. I mean, he's seeing a therapist. He mentioned like, I'm seeing dreams of things, and so I'm like, is he seeing his past memories? Because like, that's why I'm wondering if he's like a piece of code and not the real Neo. That's what I'm wondering, is like if he's code and he's trying to like remember who he is. And I don't know,
guys, I just finished it.
That's why I figured that's why you went off camera.
I can't believe that. Okay, well, I gotta go, you guys. So thank you for having me on, and thank you for letting me talk about this, because I love Matrix, and appreciate you guys having me on.
Hey,
and
real quick before you got to go, I just want to tell everybody, check out Jay on the Pop Bonsai podcast and Born Too Late podcast.
Yeah, we're I'm actually going right now to record with Travis our first episode of our Stephen King, which was supposed to have Kyle in it, but alas.
I thought Kyle was coming tonight to this too.
I forgot to send him the link. That's my bad. I just realized that. My bad.
Okay. Oh well,
all right.
You guys.
Thank you, Jay.
See you, Jay.
His internet just shit out at the last second.
Well,
dude, that looks fucking awesome. And I'm not a Matrix fan at all.
Yeah, I agree.
And I did read, so I forget his name, but the guy that played Black Adam, or not Black Adam. What's his name? Black Manta in Aquaman. He's in this movie. He's confirmed that he's Morpheus.
Really?
Yeah, and he's young. So I think there's a lot of things in here that we're not going to understand until we see the movie.
Because
what I thought was, go ahead.
I'm just that he's Morpheus. That makes me a little bummed that they didn't bring in Lawrence Fishburne. Is that's his name, right? Lawrence Fishburne.
Fishburne, yeah.
Yeah, he was so great as Morpheus. So that kind of sucks. He looks like he gave off Morpheus vibes, the actor from Aquaman. So like I was like, wow, why are they giving us just like I was looking at it like they're giving us discount Morpheus or something, but no, that's actually Morpheus. That's weird. I wonder.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm really curious
because Trinity and Neo are old, and we know that they died in the third movie. And I'm trying to remember the second and third movie because they were such snooze fest. I'm trying to remember what happened in them, but they died in the third movie, and Morpheus is now young, but they're old. And I saw Jonathan Groff in there, which got me excited.
Yeah, I like him.
Because Mindhunter is like one of the greatest shows I've ever seen. But is it Mindhunter? Mindhunters with him in it. Where's an FBI agent? Hey, Aaron, how are you? How's Matt? But that looks visually stunning. Like, I know that they're releasing it on HBO Max, but I don't think I'm going to watch it on HBO Max.
I have to see this in theaters if at all possible. But I think it comes out Christmas Day or Christmas Eve. So that just makes it hard. That's just a hard time for me to get to the movies. I spend time with my family. But bro, I am excited about it. But actually, if it does come out Christmas Eve, that means that on the 23rd it would be coming out. So I could swing the 23rd if that's the case. We'll see. But another thing
is he Cowboy Bob and Pee-wee? I thought he was the mailman. Or is Phil Hartman the mailman? Matt's still at the ER.
Thanks for coming in and updating us, Aaron. I hope he pulls through. Yeah, we're worried about him too. You're a good girl. Yeah. That sounds like I'm referring to you as a dog. I'm sorry. You are being a great and supportive fiance. That's what I meant to say.
I'm sure he'll be okay.
Yeah, I think so too. But it's always nerve-wracking. I had some family recently that was in the hospital with COVID, and they're out now and they're recovering and doing better. But it's always scary when you have people in the hospital,
especially because this was the brother of the cousin that you just lost.
Correct.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah.
So, no, but this movie looks visually like Avatar-esque, you know. Avatar wasn't awesome. A good movie, but Avatar was visually stunning. And this movie looks like it could be that way. I was amazed. Like, even the scene, Neil Patrick Harris is his therapist, right? And he has those blue glasses, and the blue is
was that Neil Patrick Harris? I don't know if it was.
Yeah, it's Doogie Howser, dude.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah. Let me just make sure I still have it on my YouTube. Yep, that's Neil Patrick Harris. So he's wearing blue glasses that are just visually, like, just piercing. You know what I mean? Like, this movie from the trailer seems to have a lot of blue tones to it, which make it look like the girl has like bright blue hair. There's a scene where they're jumping off of a building where it's like bright blue. I can't find it now.
Well, maybe this is like serving as a soft reboot, because I was just telling Jay, while you were watching the trailer, that the only complaint I had is like the original series had a lot of green and really dull coloring to it.
Yeah.
And this one didn't. Like the trailer didn't, and I thought that was odd. But another thing I did notice that I wanted to touch on in this trailer was there was a lot of blue pill taking by Keanu Reeves. He was taking the blue pill. So like Jay and I were talking about, does he remember who he is? But Trinity doesn't remember. And I'm like, well, maybe he's taking the blue pill because Trinity didn't remember who he is, and he's just like, I need to forget about her or something. I don't know, like what's going on. I'm very intrigued by this. I love the Matrix series.
Blue plays some role. Like I'm looking at a scene where there's a cat walking across the desk, and behind the cat there's this bright blue butterfly. On the desk there's this blue globe. Like the blue, because the Matrix was always like you had colors meant something in the Matrix, right?
Yeah.
Like the real world was dark and like cement almost, and then the Matrix had like a lot of greens and stuff in it, and this one has a lot of blue, and then he's taking blue pills, and there has to be some symbolism there. Neil Patrick Harris is wearing blue glasses.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like about the Matrix, is like every single thing in there is purposeful. Like everything you're looking at, like no matter how inconsequential it seems, it's purposeful, right?
Well, and I also didn't realize that it's only one of the Wachowskis that's directing this. The originals were directed by both of the Wachowski siblings, but this one's only being done by Lana. So I don't know, dude. You're right. Everything was very purposeful before. I don't personally hate the second and third Matrix as much as everyone else does. I acknowledge they're not nearly as good. Like the first one.
Well,
is
you like
one of
bad
my
movies, so it's okay.
Shut up. The first Matrix is one of my favorite movies ever, though. And then the second and third, yeah, they kind of go off the rails, but they still have some really fun action. And that's a big part of what I like about the Matrix is like the martial arts. So yeah, it's really good. And Aaron, thank you again for the updates. I don't know if he wants us calling them out live, but we are seeing your updates. So if you want to keep throwing them out, that's fine. But I don't know if he wants his business out on the podcast or not. Maybe he doesn't care. I'm just hesitating to share your updates live. I don't want you to think we don't care.
Yeah, I get it. That looks good, man. Hopefully you took out the top 5 comics part.
I did.
Okay, good.
We only have one more thing left in our show.
Let's talk about Titans.
Yeah, man. What did you think?
That was good. Like the first couple episodes, I was like, this is great. Right. The only thing I hated in the first 3 episodes was Red Hood's helmet. Like that's all I hated, because it makes him look like he has no neck. He kind of looks what's the word I'm looking for? Hobbit-ish. Like he doesn't look imposing whatsoever. So that was the only beef I had. Now these last few episodes, it seemed to have gotten a little bit repetitive and like a little dull, but the action scenes are still really good. But like
I like this one. I thought they moved the needle a lot more. In fact, I was thinking that they were maybe going to wrap up the whole Crane and Red Hood storyline in this episode, because again, we still haven't seen Raven, and there's only 15 episodes in this season. So I'm like, I was wondering if they were going to wrap up the Crane arc and then move into the next arc, and maybe that'll be next episode.
I'm bummed by that, because I really like the girl that plays Raven. I really like her. Like I think she's great. Like I think Connor is a bit one-dimensional for the most part. Even Stargirl is a little bit one-dimensional. Like I'm kind of more interested. Starfire, thank you. Stargirl's the other show. Starfire. I'm kind of like
Starfire and Stargirl couldn't be more different in appearance.
Yeah. So I'm kind of more interested in her sister, Blackfire.
Blackfire's cool.
Yeah, she seems like she has more depth to her than Starfire.
I don't know. Corey did some pretty messed up crap this episode. I'm enjoying her character arc. Like,
really?
Yeah, the mobster stuff she was doing. I'm like,
she did light up that guy, or the woman the mob leader or whatever.
I wasn't expecting that. I was like, whoa. Dang, Corey.
I kind of was when. Okay, so as you know, on this show we go into spoilers unless otherwise noted.
We didn't last week.
I know. But I'm going into it because and I know you said this last week, I'm incapable of talking about these things without going into spoilers.
You listened. I'm proud of you.
I did listen.
Proud of you.
I commented too. So she is trying to figure out where Crane is and Jason, and she goes and solicits the help of a mob boss who's an older woman, and the mob boss says, okay, I'll tell you where they're at if you go get something I've lost, which is her son, we come to find out. So Corey goes and gets her son and tells him, you're gonna be safe, don't worry about it, like just come with me, your mom just really misses you, wants to see you. The moment that he walks in the office, the mom shoots him in the head, and you could see the aggression from Starfire. And Starfire says, okay, we'll be leaving now or whatever, and shakes her hand and lights her whole, just incinerates her, which was a cool scene. But I kind of saw it coming when I saw how pissed she was,
Yeah.
Because she's been kind of sold as like a loose cannon. And now she's got her sister, who's definitely a loose cannon, there with her, kind of like influencing her a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there's a couple things that we still haven't seen that we know we're supposed to be getting. We're supposed to be getting Diana's, what is that? Her
Donna
cousin?
Troy.
Donna Troy.
Yeah.
What is her relation to Diana?
I'm not sure if there's a relation or not. But she's just another Amazon. Is my understanding.
I'm pretty sure she's like a niece or something, or a cousin, or like I'm pretty sure they talk about that in the first.
She was like, maybe they do. She was trained by Diana. I know that, but
maybe she's an apprentice or something. But we haven't seen her, and we know we're supposed to be seeing her. We haven't seen Raven. We know we're supposed to be seeing Raven. Batman's just off the map. I really didn't like how they did the Joker, though. Like, they kind of showed him from a distance, but we never really got any scenes with him.
That's what I was expecting. I didn't think they were ever going to show his face.
I know, but it just kind of bums me out. Like, DC has this thing of like, oh, no, that's movie property. Like, we'll give you all our B-list, for the most part. For the longest time, like, Arrow wanted Harley Quinn. They couldn't get her because she was movie. We were really surprised when they were able to get a Batman. But thanks, Sticks. Put a spoiler alert up there for me. I don't know. What did you think about this?
I thought it was a really good episode. I was glad to finally see the needle move more. Yeah, Stick says, why do they always need a Joker? I agree. I think it's okay. Yeah, I like Scarecrow was finally like reeling. They figured some things out. I like the drama between Barbara and Dick. They got this cool little romance going on.
Is she missing a leg or is she paralyzed?
Yes, she's missing a leg.
Okay, because what I remember is that she was paralyzed from the comics.
I think it feels like it's both. Because like there's a scene where she even pulls her one leg that is there with her hands, like she pulls it up. So we don't ever see her hobbling around on one leg. I think it's both. I just don't know why they chose to remove a leg. I'm not familiar with the actress. Maybe she doesn't have one of her legs. I don't know.
I don't know. That's a big thing of casting actors with ailments that actually have those ailments.
Yeah, so it could be that.
It's a peg leg. Art.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed it. I'm fully expecting that Red Hood is going to be helping them take down Scarecrow. I think he's
especially because Scarecrow kind of turned on him.
Yes, and I think that's what I like. Like Scarecrow was he had him on the ropes. Everything was going according to plan, and then the Titans pulled a fast one on him and surprised him.
So if I don't know any of our listeners, but so there was a show that was on just recently that just got canceled called Prodigal Son. Max, have you seen this show?
No, I haven't.
it's essentially about it stars Jesus from Walking Dead, whatever that actor is. You know which one I'm talking about?
Okay. Yeah, I know you're talking
So
about.
he's the main character. He's a FBI like consultant or something, and his dad is one of the most notorious serial killers of all time. He's a profiler. That's what he is. And his dad is in prison, one of the most prolific serial killers of all time. I see definite parallels between the way the actor that's playing Crane is portraying Crane, and like it's uncanny. They even look similar. Like it's uncanny how similar these two actors are portraying these completely separate roles and how similar they look. I almost wonder. I was just wondering if anybody else saw that. Like anybody else agrees with me, because for a minute you forget you're watching Titans and you think you're watching Prodigal Son. But I don't know. I like him. I know that he's under a lot of fire right now. That actor.
Which
apparently
one?
He was the actor that plays Crane.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, apparently he was abusive on set.
Oh, from Titans, he was abusive on set.
From Titans, yeah.
Jeez, that's not okay. Yeah, I hadn't heard anything about this.
Yeah, let me just double check and make sure I'm not gonna get. Oh, that's not him. Yeah. Is it a different?
Is it a different douchebag?
No, it's him.
Okay.
Misconduct claims. Yeah, he's subject of on-set misconduct investigations. Man, he looks so different in real life.
Oh,
that's why I was like, that's not. Oh, yeah, dude. Let me see. Can you approve this?
Sure. Oh, wow. Yeah, without his beard.
That's
I mean, I recognize him, but he does.
Yeah.
Subject of on-set misconduct investigations. I wonder what that means. Like, what? Not that misconduct is okay, but like, is misconduct like him bullying people? Is it him sexually harassing people? Is it him swearing and coming to work drunk? I don't like what. Just makes me wonder what they are. They
disruptive juvenile behavior and inappropriate comments. Allegedly about verbal outbursts, ended with Kartheiser getting a verbal reprimand. At least one more accusation came before. Blah 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 blah.
He denies them, of course.
Yeah, they always deny him. Yeah, but I have a feeling that we're not going to see him again.
Well, I'm pretty sure he's getting taken out. Maybe not killed, but
either that or recast.
Or that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's good. I mean, I got to tell you, dude, like Titans has always been kind of lackluster for me. Doom Patrol is the treasure over at HBO Max. That's what I'm excited for.
Yeah.
Doom Patrol is such, dude, it's, oh man, that show.
Couple
Even
weeks.
My wife is into that show. Now, the actor that plays Cyborg on Doom Patrol is not a very good actor, but everybody else on that show, fantastic. Everyone.
Yeah, it's stellar. I love it.
Yeah. But so there's 15 episodes of this. Are you from the beginning of the series to this latest episode, are you feeling that the trajectory is going up, or do you feel like it's being stagnant?
I think this latest episode, I think it was getting stagnant, and this latest episode is going back up. But I really think that I expect the next episode to be the resolution of the Crane story, and that we're going to get a second story arc for the remainder of the season.
Because they're notorious for that. The Berlanti shows are notorious for taking a season. You all right?
That's dry throat.
Rona. The
amount of water.
Berlanti takes half the season. The first half of the season does one storyline. The second half, that's how all the shows are.
Yeah.
So, and this would be episode what?
This is episode 7
coming up, and there's 15 episodes. So it makes sense. It's either this one or the next one.
I mean, it could even be that they take Crane out at the beginning of this episode next week, and then they start setting up the new storyline. But like, they started a new storyline with Cadmus last season. We haven't seen anything about that. They may have abandoned it. Maybe they determined it wasn't a good storyline.
That the girl?
No, Cadmus, like the Cadmus Industries. They're the ones that developed.
They're
Superboy
the ones that make Connor.
Yeah, they made
I know
Connor.
what you're talking about now.
They captured Beast Boy, or maybe they considered that wrapped up after last season. I don't know, but it seemed like they were setting up more with it.
Yeah, I think that's why I don't like this so much, because Superman can kind of be a bland character, right? It's like I like Superman, but Connor just is kind of bland for me. And then they throw in Crypto Dog.
I don't care about Crypto at all.
But it's bland. It's like it's not the.
I'm liking Connor because of the whole that he's half Lex and half Clark, and so it's kind of cool. Like the fact that they had him pull on his like criminal mastermind genetics to kind of figure out what maybe Crane or Jason Todd are going to do next. He is a little bit. He's not as fun as some other characters.
Bland.
I don't want to use that word. I don't think he's bland. He just needs a little bit more spice. Put some red pepper flakes on there. Put some habanero on Superboy. Right now,
that's why I think Henry
Cavill's
so good.
He's a spicy mayo.
Yeah, that's why I think Henry Cavill's so good. It's because Henry Cavill offers a little bit more depth to the character, and Tom Welling the same, like a little bit more depth. But I've been rewatching the new adventures of Lois and Clark, or the adventures
Superman
of
and
Lois Clark. No, it's the old one with Dean Cain and Terry Hatcher. So I'm in the 3rd season, and I like it, but it's very campy and just kind of bland, kind of villain of the week type stuff. Dude, Sticks, I loved the first season of Stargirl. Max, you're just now getting into it, right?
I've only watched the first episode, but I did like it. I just haven't gone back.
The best thing is that, one, Luke Wilson's in it, and Luke Wilson should be a national treasure. That girl is just super believable as just kind of like a naive. I mean, she's 22 years old, but she plays the naive high schooler, runs headfirst into trouble very well. I like all the obscure little characters that like her friends, the nerd girl that has the glasses or the headset that can talk to, or there's a voice that talks to her. I forget what character she's taken after, but the whole premise of Stargirl is it wasn't the Justice League of America. It was something else. I don't know what their name is, but it's essentially like a superhero group, and all of them are dead. And Luke Wilson was the main guy from that group, his like sidekick, and they're all dead. And now this whole new generation is like picking up all their tools and their superpowers and stuff like that, and going to fight. Like, it's so good, dude. But it's not the Justice Society, is it? Because it doesn't have Batman or any of those. Like, it's Starman and
it's the Justice Society of America. That's exactly who they are. The Justice League is different. Yeah, it's the Justice Society.
Oh,
but
it's not very different, is it?
No, it's not. It's the precursor to the Justice League, usually. Yeah. So, was there anything else you wanted to talk about this week before we close it?
No,
I feel like we've had a good show.
Except I'm excited to go see Shang-Chi again tomorrow.
Oh, dude,
hey, put the last slide.
This is the last slide.
No, the one about supporting.
Oh, I was only gonna. Well, now.
Well, I made that.
No,
today,
I can do it.
I kind of want people to see it.
That's fine. I was just only gonna do it if.
Well, this was supposed to go at the end of Matt's top 5, and he's not here, and you definitely don't want to hear me talk about comic books. But I made this little slide that I enjoy.
Support your local comic book store. I just wasn't gonna put it up because we weren't doing the top 5, but it is important. We should support our local comic book stores.
So, no, I don't have anything. I'm just excited to go see Shang-Chi with you again tomorrow night at Dolby.
Yeah, me too.
I'm excited for that. Thanks, Sticks. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for tuning in every week. And then this week Doom Patrol comes out?
No, I think it's 2 weeks. I think it's September 24th or something like that.
Fuck, man.
I might be wrong.
I thought it was the 19th, but I'm probably wrong.
All right, you're gonna hear some clickety clacks. Doom Patrol season 3. Let's see. Because
that one ended. The second season ended 2 episodes early, right?
Yeah, September 23rd is the first episode, and episode 2 comes out the same day. It looks like.
Yeah, I'm so excited for that. But yeah,
it ended really abruptly.
Well, because COVID.
Abruptly.
It was supposed to have 2 more episodes, so I'm like so stoked for that. I'm so on board. I might even rewatch the second season before then because it's that good.
I kind of might too because it was short, and I want to make sure I understand what's actually going on.
Yeah, but it might be one of my most favorite shows on TV.
Yeah, it's really good. But thanks everybody for tuning in tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, and again, follow Jay at Pop Bonsai Podcast, and thanks again to Jay for joining in today. We got a special treat to end the show. Please ignore the Cosby wine line. We're not trying to be overly offensive, but Matt put together a fun little thing. So we will see you guys next week, and enjoy the Absolute Geek theme song official.
All you freaks and geeks,
come all you freaks and geeks, let's listen to Absolute Geek.
Absolute Geek.
We'll go ahead and spread our cheeks,
Spread the cheeks,
and drink some Cosby wine.
We'll drink some Cosby wine. It makes me feel real fine. See you next time on the Absolute Geek.
See you, everybody.
It sounded like Bob Dylan for a second.
Yeah, it was great. All right, see you guys later.
That's awesome.